So Harrison Ford is going to be 77 years old when Indiana Jones 5 comes out in July of 2019. What's going on today, guys? So one of the biggest rumors in the Hollywood industry is, will Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford ever do another Indiana Jones movie? Now the rumors are being put to rest because they are true. Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford have confirmed that they are making Indy 5, which comes out in 2019. That's a long way to go. Now this particular decision has sparked enormous amount of controversy on the internet. A lot of people love this decision. They want to see another Indiana Jones film. Yet a lot of people just don't because of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I love Indiana Jones. I've loved him my entire life. I've watched the original trilogy countless times. And I remember seeing Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when I was just 8 years old. And I'm one of the few people who actually enjoys Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I don't hate it. It's not a great film by any standards. However, I still really find a lot of enjoyment out of it. Are there a lot of terrible CGI moments? Yes. Shia LaBeouf? Absolutely. Shia LaBeouf swinging with monkeys? Yes. Shia LaBeouf on a motorcycle? Yes. You guys get the point. However, if you push those aside, there is some interesting stuff to be had in that film. But I have to pull myself back as a film critic, as a person, to think about, should Indy 5 really happen with Spielberg directing and Harrison Ford starring in the role? In all honesty, guys, I am on the no side. I really don't think that this really is going to work out as well as they're thinking it is, and for many reasons. However, I do have a couple of positives, so let me describe those briefly. Firstly, I'm going to need that awesome drum roll from Spaceballs. And ready, audience? George Lucas is not writing the script. We're not going to have Indiana Jones in the film that's full of plot holes this time. We're actually going to have a much better script written by David Koepp, who, yes, I know wrote Mordecai, and that was one of his mistakes, but I feel like a lot of writers have those little missteps. The second positive I have is that it's directed by Steven Spielberg. Now, before you guys think, and before you guys type in the comments, well, he directed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and that sucks. Well, he directed the film, but remember, that's based off of George Lucas's terrible script. And just quite simply, Steven Spielberg. I mean, whenever you see a title card on a screen that says a Steven Spielberg film, that gets me excited. That gets a lot of people excited. That man inspired me so much as a kid, and I know behind me is all the Star Wars George Lucas-y stuff, and that was back then when George Lucas knew what he was doing. However, some of the scripts weren't exactly written by George Lucas after the first Star Wars film, which is probably why the dialogue is a lot better and a lot cleaner. Steven Spielberg really inspired me. The man has been making great movies for more than 3 decades, and he made one of the best movies of 2015 with Bridge of Spies. And my final one, hold the applause for a second, Shia LaBeouf is not going to be in it. Yes! What's unfortunate is that a lot of the good stuff that I'm saying is just rumors. I don't know if David Koepp's writing the script, and I'm pretty sure that Shia LaBeouf has declined. I really hope he declines because I really couldn't stand him in another movie swinging with CGI monkeys that just look so bad. I'm not really looking forward to this movie, and the reason for that is largely based on Harrison Ford. I love Harrison Ford. I think he's tied with Tom Hanks as my all-time favorite actor, because Harrison Ford has made some of the best films ever made, some of the best suspense films ever made. I think he's going to be 77 when the film comes out. Do you really want to see a 77-year-old trying to battle people? It's just not going to feel right. You're not going to believe that Ford is doing these stunts because he's obviously going to need to acquire a lot of stuntmen for those scenes. Now keep in mind that this movie is coming out 11 years after Crystal Skull. That is a very, very long time to wait. The length between Last Crusade and Skull was actually 19 years. Because of that wait, people were having these incredibly high expectations. It's something that was being incredibly overhyped. Like, this film would be a transcendent experience, just like with The Force Awakens. And a lot of people were disappointed walking out of Crystal Skull because it wasn't the movie that they wanted, and because it had all the aliens and the plot holes and the refrigerator, nuclear blast stuff. That, I mean, fine. But when you make a movie that's like 11 years after that, and you've already seen an older man play Indiana Jones who happens to be the same actor who played him when he was like 35 years old, it's gonna start to feel stale. Because we've seen four of them now, because we've seen four films now, there's only so much you can do, and there are only so many other places you can go, that to me, it's gonna feel like just a formula. It's not gonna feel like a great movie. It's gonna feel like, okay, we need to follow a certain checklist of things happening. I honestly feel like it's just gonna become a formula, and Indiana Jones has really become a parody of himself. Just like Die Hard has become a parody of himself because Bruce Willis doesn't take himself seriously anymore. Harrison Ford made one last return in The Force Awakens. And I feel like that is where his career should have ended. If he retired there, he would have ended on a good note. As long as they have a good script written by David Koepp, who I feel still may have that potential, and as long as it's directed very well by Spielberg, you may have a good film. This may be a good movie. And I don't want to come off as a pessimist because I'm thinking optimistically. And I try to represent good, positive things, and a lot of those things are problems that I had with the previous film. However, I feel like if you have a tightly written script, and I feel like if Harrison Ford will put in his 2 cents when it comes to acting, you might have a good movie. This might surprise us. This may be the Indiana Jones movie that we've wanted for, 30 years. I think it's been since Last Crusade. This may be the Indiana Jones movie we might want, and we may need. So what do you guys think about the casting for Indiana Jones? What do you guys think about Indy 5? Are you excited for it? Or are you just dreading every second of it because you hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Well, guys, I'd love to hear all those comments, so send them in the comment section below. Thank you, as always, for watching all of my videos, guys. You are the greatest people ever. Thanks, and stay tuned.